Hello and welcome all in this new video. So today by this video we are going to discuss about the structure and working of the Calliot heart. The Calliot, which is called as the garden lizard. So in this video we will discuss about the heart, that is about the internal structure, external structure of the heart, and how the working of the heart takes place. So let us see. So the first about the external features of the heart of Calliot. So this heart lies mid-ventrally in the anterior part of thoracic cavity. So where this heart is situated in the body of the Calliot, so we can found this heart lies mid-ventrally, that is at the middle position of the ventral side, that is towards the anterior part of thoracic cavity, in the thoracic cavity. So the middle part of the thoracic cavity between the forelimbs, this heart is situated. So the heart lies mid-ventrally in the anterior part of thoracic cavity, that is midway between the forelimbs, and this heart is covered by a particular cavity that is called as pericardium. The heart is situated in the pericardial cavity, which is a two-layered transparent cavity. In that two-layered, double-layered cavity of the pericardium, heart is situated. This heart is triangular, red colored and three-chambered muscular organ. We know that the Calliot belonging to the phylum Reptilia. So in case of Reptilia there is having three-chambered heart. So in case of Calliot also there is having three-chambered heart, that is having two auricles and a single ventricle. The heart of this particular animal having two-chambered auricles and a single chamber of the ventricle. So when we see the diagram, we can found here there is having two auricles or two atria, that is called as left auricle, right auricle, and having a single ventricle. So heart is made by three chambers, two auricles and a single ventricle. The anterior two auricles are clearly marked off from the posterior single ventricle by transverse groove, that is called as auriculoventricular groove. So here we can found that the auricles are separated from the ventricle by a groove, and that groove is called as auriculoventricular groove, or the line which bisects the two auricles from the ventricle is called as auriculoventricular groove. So the heart is three-chambered, having two auricles and a single ventricle. Then there is having another one important structure attached on the auricle, that is called as sinus venosus. So this is black colored structure is of sinus venosus. This sinus venosus is, in case of Calliot, is reduced. Sinus venosus is reduced and unequally bilobed structure, and having two lobes, that is one lobe is called as one, which is a smaller lobe, that is left lobe is smaller and right lobe is larger. The sinus venosus is made by two lobes, that is smaller left lobe and larger right lobe. Again we can found that the smaller left lobe is made by only left precaval vein. The smaller left lobe is formed by left precaval vein, while the larger right lobe is made by the union of right precaval and postcaval veins. So sinus venosus is made by the combination of two precaval and one postcaval vein. So two precaval veins which collects blood from the anterior side of the body, from the head and thorax region of the body. Blood is collected with the help of two precaval veins, that is right precaval vein and left precaval vein. With the help of these veins, the blood is collected from the higher part, that is from the anterior side of the body, while there is a single postcaval vein. Single postcaval vein. This postcaval vein which collects blood from lower side of the body, from the thoracic and tail region of the body, from the abdomen and tail region of the body. The blood is collected with the help of a single vein, that is called as postcaval vein. So two precaval veins and one postcaval veins combine to each other and forming a structure, and that structure is called as sinus venosus, which is a triangular structure. And this sinus venous having two lobes, left lobe and right lobe. Comparatively, left lobe is smaller, which is made by only left precaval vein, and right lobe is larger and made by right precaval and postcaval vein. Then the posterior apex of ventricle, the posterior side of the ventricle, posterior apex or terminal part of the ventricle is connected to the liver. Posterior part in this diagram, this is the posterior part of the ventricle, and this posterior part of ventricle is connected with the liver by thin white cord-like structure, and that cord-like structure is called as gubernaculum cordis. Gubernaculum cordis is a particular cord-like structure which connects this particular part, which connects the ventricle to the liver. With the help of this gubernaculum cordis, the ventricle part of the heart is connected with the liver. When we see the internal structure of this heart, we can also find there are two chamber of auricles and two chamber of ventricles, but we can find that the heart of reptiles having three chambers. So when we see neatly this diagram, we can find that when we see the internal structure of this particular heart, we can find that internally that there are having two auricles separated by a thin muscular and vertical interauricular septum. So the interauricular septum means the septum which can separate two auricles. So we can find that here is a particular septum which can separate the two auricles. There is having two auricles, and that two auricles are separated by, there are having these two auricles, right auricle and left auricle is separated by a thin muscular vertical septum, that is called as interauricular septum. And in case of right auricle is larger and darker, and its wall is thicker compared to the left auricle, and having raised internally into small ridges, that is called as musculi pectinati. Internally there is having some finger-like projection, that is called as musculi pectinati about the right auricle. Then sinus venosus opens into this auricle. We can find there is an opening of the sinus venosus, that is sinus venosus, which collects the impure blood or all the impure blood which is collected in the sinus venosus. Finally, the sinus venosus opens into the auricle by opening, and that opening is called as sinoauricular aperture. So the sinoauricular aperture is the aperture by which sinus venosus is open into the right auricle, and here we can found in this diagram this aperture is of sino-auricular opening, that is sinus venosus opens into the right auricle by opening, that is called as sino-auricular aperture, and this aperture is guarded by two flap-like valves to prevent the backward flow of the blood. When we see about the left auricle, this left auricle is smaller. Left auricle is smaller, comparatively smaller, thin walled, and its roof receives small circular and valveless common pulmonary aperture, and at the middle position of this left auricle there is having a particular aperture, and that aperture is of, or the opening of, common pulmonary aperture, that is pulmonary veins opens by this aperture in this left auricle. At the middle position of the left auricle there is having a single opening, that single opening is called as pulmonary aperture, and this opening is of pulmonary vein. Then this is right auricle, then left auricle, and which can separated by a single septum, that is called as interauricular septum, then sino-auricular aperture which is found at the base of the right auricle. Then again ventricles has thick spongy muscular wall internally projecting into intercalating ridges called as columnar corni. So the internal ridges of the ventricle, which is thick and spongy muscular region, that is called as columnar corni. The two auricles opens into respective ventricles, that is right auricles open into the right ventricle, right auricles open into right ventricle, left auricle opens to left ventricle, like that. So the two auricles opens into ventricles through right and left auriculoventricular aperture. Auriculoventricular apertures are the openings or apertures which connects the auricles to the ventricles, to the respective ventricles. That the right auricles opens to the right ventricle by right auriculoventricular aperture, and left auricle opens into left ventricle by left auriculoventricular aperture, like that. And these apertures are again guarded by the valves. Again there is having valves, and with the help of that valves these openings are guarded to check the backward flow of the blood. The flap of these valves are attached to a particular cord-like structure, thread-like structure, that is called as chordae tendineae. The flap or these valves are attached to columnae corni by thread-like muscles, that is called as chordae tendineae. Chordae tendineae is nothing but small cord-like structures by which these valves are attached to the internal part, to the internal side of this heart. Then there is having an incomplete interventricular septum. So we can found here there is having a septum which can separate two ventricle chambers, that is called as interventricular septum. But this interventricular septum in case of calioids is incomplete. Interventricular septum in case of calioids is incomplete. So due to which there are some mixing of the blood takes place. Interventricular septum which divides the two ventricles, but this interventricular septum is incomplete, due to which some mixing of pure and impure blood takes place in case of calioids. So heart is called as three-chambered in case of calioid or reptiles. So this is the right ventricular cavity, then left ventricular cavity, interventricular septum, incomplete interventricular septum. Then they are having three arches which is having our blood vessels, which is having connection with the ventricle, that is right and left systemic arches and a single pulmonary arch and also having pulmonary arch. So this right and left systemic arches and a single pulmonary arch arises from the ventricle. So each arch or blood vessel has a paired semilunar walls. This arch or these blood vessels having or their openings are guarded by semilunar walls like this. The openings of these arches are guarded by semilunar walls at its base to check the return of blood. Then again, one important point, the wall of the heart is made by three chambers. The wall of the heart is made by chambers. The wall of the heart provided or made by three layers. Wall of the heart is made by three layers. That is, first is the tunica intima, second layer is the tunica media, third layer is the tunica adventitia. Tunica intima, tunica media, which is the middle layer, tunica adventitia. These are, the heart is made by three layers. Out of these, tunica media is made by cardiac muscle. Out of that three layers, the tunica media is made by cardiac muscles. And this tunica media is innervated with the 10th cranial nerves, or heart is innervated by 10th cranial nerve. Then about the working. So the deoxygenated blood from body is collected in a particular part that is called as sinus venosus through caval veins, that is having three caval veins, two precavals and one postcaval vein. With the help of that precaval and postcaval vein, the heart which is become deoxygenated into the body, which is collected in the sinus venosus. When sinus venosus contracts, the blood is driven or forced into the right auricle. From the sinus venosus, blood comes to the right auricle through sino-auricular or sino-arterial aperture. When the left auricle, at the same time, left auricle receives oxygenated blood from lungs through pulmonary veins. Left auricle receives oxygenated blood from lungs through pulmonary vein. When the two auricles contract simultaneously, the deoxygenated blood from right auricle passes into right side of ventricle. Oxygenated blood from left auricle occupies the left side. That is, whenever at the same time, when both the auricles are contracted, the impure blood or deoxygenated blood from the right auricle passes towards the right side of the ventricle, while oxygenated blood from the left auricle then occupies or then goes towards the left side of the ventricle. But some mixing of pure and venous blood may take place in case of Caliot due to incomplete septum. When the ventricle contracts, then again ventricle contracts, venous blood from right side is driven through pulmonary arch to the lungs. So whenever the ventricle contracts, the impure blood or the venous blood from right side is forced towards the pulmonary arch towards the lungs by the pulmonary arch, by the pulmonary artery. The blood which is impure blood then forced towards the lungs for the purification. Simultaneously, oxygenated blood and partly mixed blood from left side goes into the systemic arch or systemic aorta and distributed to the body. At the same time, from the left side of the ventricle, blood flows with the help of systemic aorta towards the body. Head receives the purest blood. Head can get the purest blood. The valves prevent backward flow of blood during contraction. This is about the working of the heart. And finally, here is the course of circulation of blood in case of heart. So first of all, suppose this is the body, then the impure blood from various parts of the body collected into the sinus venosus, and with the help of sino-auricular aperture, the blood comes to the right auricle. When right auricle contracts, blood comes into the right side of the ventricle with the help of auriculoventricular aperture. When right ventricle or ventricle is contract, the blood with the help of pulmonary aperture flows towards the lungs for a purification. From the lungs with the help of pulmonary vein, blood which is become now pure in the lungs with the help of pulmonary veins comes to the left auricle. When left auricle contract, blood comes into the left side of ventricle by auriculoventricular aperture, and when left auricle is contract with the help of systemic arches, blood supply to the body. So in this way the circulation of blood takes place into the body. This is all about the calute structure and function of this heart of calute. So thank you once again for watching this video.